Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the time of TRUNDLE, but before we jump into the card reveals, a quick recap on the rating system. Skip ahead if you already know this. Cards will be rated from 0 to 5. 0 means that the card is not competitive at all. 1 means that the card could be experimented with, but is still far from competitive play. 2 means that the card could see play, but only as an okay card in a specific strategy or archetype. 3 means that the card will see play, but it is heavily dependent on the current meta. 4 means that the card is very good, it can be a very great addition or a key card in certain archetypes. 5 means that the card is meta defining, it is the key card or a power card in multiple archetypes. With that said, let's jump into the ratings. TRUNDLE is a 1 out of 5. TRUNDLE is hard to evaluate, and I will go for a safe 1 out of 5 rating, as this seems to have potential, but needs some more experimentation, therefore their 1 out of 5 rating. This does not mean that this card is a bad card, because as a standalone, this card is great. It is comparable to Garen, but has a much easier way to level up, and the payoff in my opinion is stronger, as the first needs you to have already a board, while TRUNDLE helps you to build one. Before he levels up, it is used the best as a blocker, to keep him safe from removals. Basically, you can block only 2 attack units to keep him safe from removals such as Get Excited and Noxian Fervor. While after the turn 8, thanks to the Ice Pillar, you can basically remove 1 unit per turn, given that it is smaller than TRUNDLE, and also deal some cheap damage thanks to Overwhelm. It is comparable to a Tryndamere once leveled up, and in my opinion a much stronger card. But the fact that this is a champion is a standalone, as its behold synergies does not seem to really fit the strategy of the card, which is more oriented toward mid-range. It basically only synergizes with Ice Pillar. Therefore, it may even be included as a 3-off in fragile decks as a power card, but its lack of synergies makes this card pretty bad for constructed. Augur of the Old Ones is a 1 out of 5. Again, this card is pretty awkward. Its task line and keyword seem to indulge into a mid-range style, while its triggering effect is to behold an 8-cost card or more. To make the effect more consistent, you have to add more high-cost card, therefore reducing the mid-range consistency playstyle. But if you don't add enough, you have a more consistent strategy, but this will have an harder time to proc. It does not synergize with TRUNDLE, and its very consistent 8 mana Ice Pillar, which is actually free, as TRUNDLE already gets Overwhelm and Regeneration. But those effects could be granted to some other cards, maybe a champion like Swain, which has a high health, which synergizes with Regeneration, and a Nexus Strike ability, which benefits from the Overwhelm. So maybe we could see a TRUNDLE Swain deck going for mid-range / control, but again, this seems very experimental. Icequake is at 0 out of 5. This card costs too much, maybe at 6 mana it could be great, even though maybe at that point it will be too oppressive against aggressive strategies since it can come down on turn 3 if you bank mana, but anyway at 8 mana it is simply useless. I guess that I wanted this card to be at this mana cost to synergize with the whole team of Behold, but then the effect is too weak. Even dealing 4 damage will not be enough. At 5 damage it will be interesting. A notable combo though is in the deck that I theory crafted before. Swain leveled up will still have 1 attack, and its Versum keyword will make him very hard to block if all enemies have -3 attack, so it is still a card to watch out for. But again, that was only an experiment, and even in that deck there are probably better options to trigger Swain. Revitalizing Roar is a 1 out of 5. The heal is more than often useless without some kind of removal. The other effect comes already at a late game stage, and to get some kind of advantage you have to hit a 10 mana card because you are still spending a card just for the heal. You can't cheat out big units before 10 mana, because you have to be Enlightened, where you could play them anyway. Overall, this card seems pretty useless. But I have seen some experimentation with an OTK based on Zephyr Sage. You need 2 of them, you reduce to 0 the cost of 1, and with the other you create another one which costs 0 again, and you basically have an infinite stream of 4/4. If there is ever some effect based on on-play synergies, like whenever you play a unit deal 1 damage to the Nexus, then this is a proper OTK. But unless this combo is consistent, which I doubt, not much more to say about this card. Faces of the Old Ones is at 0 out of 5, a conditional, weaker to removal Stones of Fate. If that is the name, because it is already such a bad card that I barely know the name. Useless card. Troll Scavenger is at 0 out of 5, too inconsistent to run in a mid-range deck for reasons similar to what was said before, and not that great of a payoff if you want to run this in a control deck as an early game presence. A 3-4 stat line would make this better at the second go, but it is not the case. Troll Ravager is at 0 out of 5, same as Troll Scavenger. 3 attack can be easily ignored and traded afterwards. Uzgar the Ancient is at 0 out of 5. Too expensive, can take some trades, but this is not a constructed card, at least very good in Expedition. Call the Wild is a 1 out of 5. Could be interesting in power decks, but we know that this is just a meme deck. Troll Chant is a 5 out of 5. This trick is insane. It can make you get a 2-for-1 for just 2 mana and only 1 card. Absolutely ridiculous. The strong part is that if you are blocking with 2 units, you can give health to one of those and reduce the attack of the enemy which is attacking the other one of your units, saving both from trade range. This will be definitely nerfed to 3 mana and will still be viable.